Hello everyone. In today's video session, we are going to discuss about demonstration of the milling machine, various types of milling machine and which operation we can perform over the milling machine. So let's start with the milling machine. So first of all, milling, that is a metal cutting operation in which the excess amount of material from the workpiece is removed by rotating multi-point cutting tool, that is also known as milling cutter. Milling machine is a power operated machine tool in which workpiece is mounted on a moving table, is machined to various shape when moved under a slow revolving serrated cutter. Various types of milling machine are there. First is the column and knee type milling machine. In column and knee type milling machine, there are two types of milling machine, like horizontal spindle type milling machine and vertical spindle type milling machine. And this horizontal and vertical milling machine is classified points of plain, column and knee type milling machine. Okay. The second is the bed type milling machine. Third is the planer type milling machine. Fourth is the special purpose milling machine. And in special purpose milling machine, there are four milling machine like CNC milling machine, thread milling machine, tracer control milling machine. Okay. So we will perform some experiments over horizontal milling machine. So you can see the basic arrangement in horizontal milling machine. In horizontal milling machine, base, column, spindle, overarm, knee, saddle, work table, these all are the basic parts. You can see base which is available or which is fitted at the base of the milling machine, or we can say it is the base of the machine. It is the most important part of the milling machine. Okay, elevating screw is there, column is also there, spindle is also there, overarm, cutter, table, saddle, these all components are fitted in horizontal milling machine. Okay. Next is the vertical milling machine. In vertical milling machine, there are also major components like base, column, spindle, spindle head, knee, saddle, work table. These all are the basic components, basic most important component of the vertical milling machine. So we will perform our practical over horizontal and vertical milling machine. We can perform various operation over this milling machine like plane or slab milling, face milling, end milling, slot milling, angular milling, form milling, straddle milling, gang milling, slitting or saw milling, gear cutting. Okay, we can perform this all operation. You can see these all are the basic images of these operations. Like in first you can see face milling. In face milling we are facing the workpiece surfaces. In angular milling, using angular milling cutter, we can cut the workpiece at some angle. Angular milling using face milling cutter. Okay, form milling machine, gang milling machine, straddle milling machine, straddle milling is also there. So we can perform various operation by using different milling cutters and milling machines. So this is all about the milling operations and milling machine. We will perform some basic operations on horizontal as well as vertical milling machine in our workshop. So by not wasting time, let's go to workshop and perform and learn some new operations. So right now we are in workshop, and today we are going to perform a practical related to milling machine. So let's start this practical on milling machine. Mr. Caesar, workshop instructor, who is helping us to perform this practical on this horizontal milling machine. So this is the horizontal milling machine on which we are going to perform a practical. But before doing practical on this machine, let's discuss some important components of this machine. So on this machine you can see the first component is the overarm. So this you can see this is the overarm. Second is the arbor support. So you can see this is the arbor support of this machine. The third one is the spindle. So this is the spindle of this machine. The fourth one is the cutter. So this is the cutter. Next is table. So you can see this is the table on which various assemblies are fitted. Next is the saddle. So this is the saddle. Okay. Knee. So this is the knee of this machine. Elevating screw. So you can see this is the elevating screw. Base of the machine. And column. So this is the column of this horizontal milling machine. This is vertical milling machine. So you can see this is the spindle head, okay, and this is the spindle of this machine. This is the work table on which various operation is performed. This is the saddle of this machine, okay. Knee of this machine. You can see this is the knee of this machine. Knee elevating screw is here. So that screw is knee elevating screw. This is the base of this machine. This is the control unit of this machine through which we can control the machine, and this is the main column of this machine. Okay. So these all are the basic parts of this vertical milling machine. This is horizontal milling machine. Okay. Our first operation on this milling machine is gear cutting operation. For that we required one tool that you can see, gear tool, which is a gear cutting tool, which is mounted over the arbor. Okay. So we are making gears over this workpiece. You can see this is the control center of this horizontal milling machine. So let's start this. Power on of this machine. You can see the arbor is rotated. With that arbor, the gear cutting tool is also rotated. Now we will start this gear cutting operation over this arbor. You can see the gear cutter, which may be either cylindrical type or end mill type. The cutter profile fits exactly with the tooth space of the gear. With the help of this gear cutting, equally spaced gear teeth are cut on gear blank by holding the work on universal diving head and then indexing on it. So you can see finally we have completed this gear cutting operation over the workpiece. So our next operation is end milling. So this end milling operation we will perform on this vertical milling machine. Okay. So for this operation, this end mill cutter is used. Okay. And you can see this is the workpiece. And we are powering on this machine. You can see the end mill cutter is rotated. The
end milling is the operation of producing flat surface which may be vertical, horizontal or at an angle in reference to the table surface. The cutter which used is an end mill cutter, and the end mill cutter are also used for the production of slot, grooves or keyways. And vertical milling machine is more suitable for this end milling operation. That's why we are performing this operation on this vertical milling machine. So you can see we have done a slot over this workpiece with the help of this end mill cutter. So this is end mill operation.
Thank you for watching this video.